Guys, welcome back to my channel. So as usual, as you guys could see, I am here in my little studio. It's a mess because I'm trying to make a bunch of DIY bells. So I already made a lot of this one. Already made a lot of this. Hi guys, so today I'm going to show you guys how to make a rustic cowbells. You know they are very expensive, so I thought I will do something and copy it from a recycled materials or simple stuff that you can find inside your home. For example, a cup, a plastic cup, or if you have a paper cup. And what I did is I used aluminum foil for my like a paper mache bells, and this red cup. So this is what I have, so I'm going to use it to make this bell. And there's 3 sizes. So what I did is I have this ring to use it as the ring for where you're going to tie the jute. I used the ring from the dollar store. They are a pack of 10. I glue it in there and I painted them. Now, with this one, I use a recycled materials like the can of pop. We have lots of those, so I thought I collect them and use them. You guys have to be very careful when you are going to cut this, that you don't cut your hands or fingers because they are very sharp. And that one is like a paper mache, but instead of using paper mache, I used aluminum foil. So I have a bunch of recycled aluminum foil or aluminum foil. You can use brand new or an old one, and because you're just going to crumple them. So that's what we're going to start. Like I said, I've already made a lot, so different sizes. And with this one, so I have a small, medium, and large. There you go. And I'm going to cut them by size. What I did is with this red cup, I cut it where the line is, because this red cup, it's very nice because they have lines. So I thought in order to make it a little bit smaller, I would cut it where the line is, and then once it's cut, then I would try to measure it to the different sizes. So this one has like a 3 or 4 lines on it, so I did use the mark where the first line. So we're going to cut it. Guys, my apology, this is my first time I'm doing the voiceover, so usually I'm the one who's talking but this time this is what I do, voiceover, and forgive me if it's not perfect, you know, I'm learning. So now we're trying to cut it, and when it's cut, it has this unfinished look. So what I did is I glued the part that has that already look like it's a bell, like it's ready-made. So what I did is I glued it back to look like as if it's you never cut it. So once it's glued, it becomes the medium size. Now for the smaller size, I cut again about an inch of that cup, and I cut it on different sizes, and then I folded them and to make it even, and then the fold part I cut them. Part that I cut, I have to glue it back again. So this time it's a little bit bigger, so you have to adjust and cut the excess part of the lip in order for it to fit. So now you have the small size, and then once you glued and done, you can choose any paint. So you can use a gold automatically with it, or I use black so it's easier to show. I use the sponge, and this coarse, it looks like a sponge, and that's what I use to make it like so you painted it, so either you paint it directly or you tap it, and whichever makes you comfortable, or whatever makes you happy. How's that? So what I did in order to make it look like it's rustic or it's been aged or old, I decided to add, by sponging it, I also, let's do the recycled materials. We're going to use a can of pop. So this time we're going to cut at the top part of the can. Be careful guys, it's very very sharp, so you have to watch out your fingers, or again it depends on which one you want to use. Do you want to use a knife? I use the I call it X-Acto knife, and scissors, but at the end. And then once it's done, you have to do the other side, the bottom part, where that like a dome side. So I cut it of the bottom part of the kana pop, the one with the dome part. Here it is. So we're going to cut it right at the tip of that cut, that indentation. We're going to cut it. You guys, again, very carefully, or careful with it, because it's very sharp. You don't want to cut your skin or your hands. The good thing about this aluminum can, it's very thin, so it's not that hard to use a scissor. And try to clean it up a little bit so there's no existing that can cut your fingers. It has to cut right through the fold of that dome. Make sure that you cut it right at the tip of that line and there's nothing existing or tipping off. Now let's go to the body part of the can. Again, they are very sharp, so very careful. So try to measure. Again, this is, I'm just showing you guys quickly, but originally what I did is I have a measuring a ruler, a straightener, and everything is properly marked. But I'm just getting in a hurry to show you guys what I am trying, or how I did it. So this one, the original one that I did is the one with no print is the one outside, and the inside was the print. But this time I'm just showing you guys. So here's the dome, and I'm going to measure it right at the circumference of that dome. And you're going to notice there's an excess of the aluminum foil. So I mark it where there's the excess and I cut it. So it has to be the same size, and then I cut it. Remove the excess aluminum part. The part that we cut, or I cut, this is the excess part of the can. Again, you're supposed to be a straight line, and again, I'm just showing this you guys quickly. I cut it and then I folded it into two pieces to make it a little bit cleaner. Again, with the original one, I have everything folded properly, measured properly, cut properly, and then run it so it will be a lot smoother. And then once it's done, you kind of fidgetly try to roll it to make it like a ring. So once you roll it, it's gonna look like a hoop, and that's the one that you're going to put on top of the can. So I cut the excess part, and then I used the glue, and this is what it looks like. And then on the can, once you glue everything, this in order to look like you have a welded part, I added glue on the side and then on the bottom, and then the clapper, or the one that makes sound, I use this wooden dowels, and I cut them into, again, depends on your size, I cut them into 2 or 3 or 4 pieces, and then use a wire, flower wire. Here it is. So I cut it, and then I use this one. When I cut it, they have different sizes because of the different size of the bell that I was making. Our wire, twisted it around it, and that's what I use to hang it through the bell. And then once I'm done, I painted them black and glued it inside. So now this is what it looks like with the jute rope, and this is what it looks like with the bell. The color that I used on this specific bell is black first, to cover everything, to cover the prints, the can of the print of the can. And then when the black was dried, I dab it with gold and some part of brown color to make it look like it has a rust on it. So black first, gold and metallic gold, and the brown spot. And then when it's done, I use this jute rope to tie it in. And this part, like I said, I used Mud Podge, a little bit of baking soda, and I mixed it with the paint in order for it to become roughed, and looks like it has that rustic, it's been like it's starting to rust or starting to fade away, or been used for a long time. This is what it looks like.